Oh, we got a good show tonight. Music by Ron and Dominic. We got my good friend, Dr. Skoly. And we got the ice cream barn, Jocelyn and Tom. We'll be right back on An Hour with Bob. Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. Here it is. It's November 18th. Is it the 18th? November 18th, 2013, and it was 64 degrees out today. Something wrong with this world. You notice all the twisters they had? Some 80-odd twisters, and they're getting even more north now. Now they're in Illinois. They had a bunch of twisters. Anyway, we got a good show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about My Toys for Tots. It's coming up on December 10th at the Warwick Mall, 5 to 9 p.m. You can come down, bring a toy, say hi to us. In fact, our guest tonight, our musical guest tonight, I expect will be there, as will several other musical guests. And we'll even have a magician there who's really good. He really gets me. I can't figure out how he does this stuff. His name is Matt Roberts. You may know him. And we'll have a lot of fun at the Warwick Mall on December 10th, 5 to 9 p.m., right in the food court. Come on down, bring a toy or toys, new unwrapped toys, down to the Warwick Mall, and we'll have some fun. Anyway, tonight we've got a mixed bag here. We've got to talk to my good friend, Dr. Stephen Skoly. We've got to talk a little politics. No, I know, I said I never talk politics, but he's my friend, and he's got strong feelings about something. I have the similar feelings on almost all of the same stuff. And we're going to get some good music. I mean, we got some good music tonight here. My buddy Dominic DiPasquale is here tonight. And Ron Murray's with him on the guitar. And then, of course, what's better? You know I love ice cream. I mean, there's nothing better in the world as far as I'm concerned. I can eat ice cream for breakfast. I can eat ice cream for lunch. And I can eat ice cream for dinner. In fact, tonight, we even got ice cream with bacon in it, I understand. Is that true? Absolutely. Bacon, ice cream with bacon in it. Doc Skoly, how you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. You've upgraded. I like the studio.
You like it different, huh? Well, that's very creative. Yeah. Corey has really done well, huh?
You come in like Jay Leno, coming in from the...
Very creative.
Yeah,
very
where's the dressing rooms and everything, though?
Well, we used to have, when we first started it years ago, believe it or not, we kind of went, it's like this, we're back up here, because when I first started here 22 years ago, we actually had bleachers in here. We sat 36 people on bleachers. We had 2 sets of bleachers in here. And then another company took over the company, because we've been bought and sold like 5 different times. Mm-hmm. You know, this studio has been. And remember the cables they had? At first, there was like, I don't know, 10 cable companies in Rhode Island. And then they started falling off, and this one bought up that one, and this one bought up that one, and ended up at just one. And then they came in here, and they took away my green room, first of all. That used to be that room over there. Couldn't go in there anymore. And then I came in one day, and the bleachers were gone.
No more studio audience, huh?
No more studio audience. And it used to be fun with a studio audience, because then I could have comedians. You can't have a comedian with no studio. With no audience. How can you, a laugh track? I've seen other guys try it. I think it looks terrible. You know, you got to have the real deal. Mm-hmm. So we stopped that. In fact, the last time I used the bleachers, well, were able to use the bleachers, because like I said, I come in here one day and they're gone, I was on the movie Meet Joe Black, and the movie had finished, and it was about a month after, and we went to see the preview, and I was lucky enough to be in the movie, to be seen in the movie, and we had like 600 extras, and only like 30 of us got seen in the whole movie out of the whole group, right? So I had them here, and I had 36 of us on the bleachers, and I had a mic, and I passed around several mics through the bleachers, and we'd talk about different things. And the funniest thing, Doc, the biggest question, the major question that was asked, I mean, granted, it was my show, and so that's why they were directing it to me, I guess. Somebody said, Bob, I've been wondering, and we've all been wondering, how was it that you were able to always leave, because we worked at 6 at night to 6 in the morning. Now, I had to pick up my son, Zachary, in Bellingham for 8 o'clock or before 8 o'clock. And if I didn't get him before 8 o'clock, I wasn't getting them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was extremely important for me. So we had our cars parked at Rocky Point Park. It was closed, of course. So we would get bussed over from the mansion there, Aldrich Mansion, over to, when they fill the bus, then they take the bus over to Rocky Point, we get in our cars and off we go. Well, if I didn't get out of there in the first 15 minutes, I wasn't getting out of there for an hour and a half, because you got to wait 650 people if you're at the end of the line, I guess, right? And you got to go through, you got to walk up 107 stairs. You got to walk in.
How many stairs?
107. I remember it well because I had to do it for Brad Pitt, did a scene, took 49 takes to do it. They used 2 men and 2 women to do the scene, and I was one of the men that was used to do the scene. So I counted the stairs. I knew them very well. So you walk up the stairs, you get about 3/4 of the way up the 107 stairs, you take a left, you go into this one tent, you get out of your tuxedo, then you come out that same tent, walk backtrack, and then walk up the rest of the stairs and go into another tent, and you had your voucher, you turn in your voucher, and you would get paid. Well, I figured it out after the first day. So I got to do something here, because I'll never get out of here in time to pick up my son, because I used to have him 4 days a week during the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first night I was there, like I said, 6 at night to 6 in the morning. So 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing to do but sleep, unless you get called for something, and I don't sleep. So I'm walking around, I'm saying, how am I going to do this? So the very first night I was there, I figured it out, that these 2 giant tents. Well, I walk up the stairs, about 80 of the stairs to the first tent, and I walked around the tent. Instead of going in, I walked all the way around the other side of the tent, and I disconnected a couple ropes that were spiked in. You know, they used the, what do they call them, the stakes, to put them into the, stake into the ground, and they rope it, right? I undid a couple ropes, went into the tent. I moved some racks away from the wall of the tent, and I made a little area. So the second night I was there, everybody's rushing to get up on the stairs, get in line. I go not on the stairs, I go up the hill, and I go on the other side of the tent, and I lift up the tent, and I climb in, and I had my clothes there. I put my clothes there ahead of time. Off I go, the Superman act. I throw my regular street clothes on, I hang my tuxedo up there, I go back out underneath the tent, and I go up the stairs on the other side, and I get right into the room, give my voucher there, and off I go.
So your days as an extra have just ended?
And I did that every day for 5 weeks. I did that. Nobody ever caught me, and everybody said, how come you didn't tell me? I wish I would have known. I said, if I told you, you would have told him or her, and he would have told him or her, and it would have been dead in 3 days, right?
That's a nice mansion, isn't it?
So I told nobody. Yeah, that's a beautiful place. Yeah. It's a beautiful place. So what's going on with you, Doc? You know, you're a facial reconstructive surgeon.
Oral and maxillofacial surgery.
Facial reconstructive surgeon. Mm-hmm. Your practice is in Cranston over at the beautiful...
Chapel View is a very, very nice facility.
Very nice, very nice.
Yep, I've been there for a little bit over a year.
Right.
It's an up and coming facility. There's a lot going on there. They're continuing the development there.
Yeah, they're doing some big building over there now.
And now they're tearing down the old bad boy school and training school, I guess.
We were talking about that earlier, Dominic and I were talking about how it was used by our parents against us. Because they say, you want to end up at a training school with a bad boy school?
Appropriately so.
Appropriate. What are you trying to say? Sakanasik. That's right, Sakanasik Crossroad. We knew it by Sakanasik, right, Dominic? Sakanasik. It wasn't Sakanasik Crossroads, the street. It was Sakanasik, period. Because that was the bad place. You didn't want to go there.
Yeah, you got to give Carpiano Properties, credit.
Sure, in a bad economy, they're building. They started construction there, what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe?
All of that.
All of that, yeah, maybe longer than that, yeah. And they've been running gangbusters over there, right?
Continuing to go, so.
And they're still, like you said, we're building a couple big buildings over there now, right?
Good for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you got in there at the right time, it looks like. Huh?
Sometimes timing's good.
The timing is good.
Yeah.
Speaking of time, we got a couple clips for you tonight, right?
Hopefully the timing's right for this project.
Now we did your several months ago. We showed your first movie.
Yep.
Let's explain to people.
Sure. We you know, I set up a media company, and as you know, I'm involved in a lot of healthcare policy, and we determined at some point, you know, a media company, a production company was a way to go. More people would get to see our message and would get it out there. So on this last project, the first project
was Fixing America.
Was Fixing America, where Steve Laffey and I teamed together.
Steve Laffey, if you don't know, is the former mayor of Cranston, Rhode Island, left town, moved to Colorado.
He's in Fort Collins.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Colorado. Actually, he's just recently set up a radio show.
Really?
Yeah, the Laffey Radio. He's on 5 days a week, like for an hour, just talking about you know, stuff,
policy and stuff,
policy,
politics, and
you know, how we are going to fix this great country. And you know Steve is very energized, and you know him well. All right. So the first movie, we took a film crew around the country.
Right.
We
went to 18 states, right?
We went to maybe 22 states.
Was it that many?
Yeah.
I took a guess, 18.
Yeah.
I know it was a lot.
We took a film crew of like 16 people around, and we have a feature-length documentary called Fixing America.
Right, which I saw at the premiere of at the Park City.
And you know, it's on Amazon now.
It's on Amazon.com.
And we looked at how the political elites from both parties are basically in the process of ruining America, you know, financially. Right. We looked at...
They're filling their pockets in the interim.
They're doing very well, many of them. We looked at, you know, the budgets. We looked at balancing the budget. We looked at our trade deficit. We looked at energy. And we looked at, basically, in the first one, a little bit, we touched on a little bit of, like, trading with China.
Right.
And what we saw in going around the country and engaging people, everybody was interested in China. What's our relationship with China? What are we doing with China? So we came back, you know, to the old drawing board and said, you know what?
We got to do something with China.
We think we have another documentary here, so off we went.
And the second documentary is called...
We stayed with our brand, Fixing America.
Fixing America, but...
Stop China Now.
Stop China Now.
China's in the process of overtaking us in a lot of arenas, a lot of venues.
Sure. Financially, for sure.
They're the largest manufacturer in the world right now.
Right.
We have lost our manufacturing base. We're
a service-based now. We're a service country now, right?
We basically solved China's unemployment problem. We lost in the last decade almost 3 million jobs to China. And a lot of those jobs are never coming back.
Right.
So we put together another documentary called Stop China Now. And in fact, I brought you a trailer and a couple clips.
We're going to see that now. We got the trailer to that?
But the truth is, there's no sector that benefits our economy like manufacturing.
China's intervening, suppressing the price of its currency, lowering its value relative to the dollar.
Which country has the intent to be our greatest adversary?
Probably China.
China.
China, again, me growing up, it was, you know, the Red Chinese, the communist threat to America.
If there's a point that I want to surprise people with, it would be this. You know, we are funding Chinese oppression.
So China can't come in and lobby the American government and say, hey, what are you doing? You can't mess with our business. But when Caterpillar and Walmart and General Electric are in the government's face saying, you know what? This is just fine.
Well, for the same reason, when I ask my son if he took cookies out of the cookie jar, he won't look at me. He knows he's guilty.
This building has been empty for decades now. Decades.
Well, they say that go get an education, but there aren't enough jobs for workers with college degrees.
Because you can't tell in the catalog. It's not required to be printed on the catalog. So it's blind. They'll say American inspired. And it's actually made in China.
The industry I was involved in is totally gone. And you know where that work is? Overseas.
President Hu, members of the Chinese delegation, on behalf of Michelle and myself, welcome to the White House.
All right, we're back with Dr. Stephen Skoly. Doctor, you were the producer of Fixing America, Stop China Now, your second documentary.
Yep,
very well done.
In this series.
I might add, very well done.
Thank you.
The production quality was on the money. The editor, who edited this?
Fred Tyndall. You've met Fred
many times. That's why I throw it out there.
Yep.
You know, I got throw Fred in there. You know.
Very, very talented.
Yes.
Editor. You should bring him on sometime.
Yes, yes. We'll get. Will he comb his hair? You like his hair? No, he likes his hair up there. Well, he doesn't have to comb it or brush it. He just like let it happen.
Naturally good-looking kid.
Yeah, yeah. He's got it made. He's got it made. He's young and he's got a full crop. That's why you don't have to worry about it.
You and I have to worry about it.
Yeah, I gotta like make sure every hair is in place because otherwise you have spots on the. You're laughing at me. It's true. It's true. Anyway, Doc, this one hits home, I think, more so than the first one. The first one was good. I liked the first one, and it did. That was also very well done, and I liked the music too. The music was very good on both of these, documentaries. The production content is there, and this one really.
The first one covered a lot of material.
Too much, I think.
And it was almost overwhelming.
Overwhelming, yes.
Right? And you're right. We loved that project. This one's a little bit more focused, and it's focused on what the average person can really get their hands around.
Get a piece of that.
Yeah, like, there's 90 million people in America that aren't working. There's 12 million people on unemployment numbers right now.
And that's only people that want to be employed.
Yeah, that's the highest it's virtually ever been.
Wow. Now, how do you explain? Now, I'm going to leave you with a little teaser. I'll leave them with a little teaser because we're going to go to a song in a second. But how do you explain, or how does the government, or how does the country explain how so many people are out of work, yet the stock market just hit a record high again today? It broke 1,600 today. 16,000 today. What am I saying? 1,600.
They're in some respects they're not related domestically, because a lot of the components of the Dow, a lot of the components in the market are large, successful multinational companies.
Right.
These multinational companies, as you'll see, and I brought, there's a couple other clips, we can look at them later.
Yep, we're going to see that.
These multinational companies, they're all around the world.
Right.
They're making more money than ever.
Right, right.
And the CEOs, the titans of big industry, those that are connected in the Beltway, the lobbyists, they're all doing very, very well. But maybe the average American,
on the backs of the regular
isn't.
John Q. public. Dominic, how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Now, am I going to see you at my Toys for Tots on December 10th?
Where else would I be? But to support you and the Toys for Tots.
And is Big Ron going to be with you, Ron?
It's the 10th of December.
The 10th of December.
Tuesday night as usual.
Tuesday night, yeah. You know, I like Tuesday nights, and I'll tell you why. Because over the years, this is the 20th, this is a big one. The biggest thing about that, the reason why the Tuesday night is important is I've tried every night there. Guess what the worst night is? Friday. Because all the kids are there, all the teeny boppers are at the mall, and they commandeer, they take over the whole mall, and you can't get, nobody can hear anybody, and they get all around the area, so people can't even bring toys because they're all over there. So I found that Tuesday night was the best night to do the Toys for Tots there. Now, Dominic, you're singing in English and you're singing Italian.
I'm singing in Italian and English, but I do sing in other languages.
Really?
I don't speak very well, but I can sing in other languages.
You can sing, isn't that funny, huh?
It's really, really weird.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can remember as a kid.
How you doing? You know.
I used to be able to sing the German song there.
Edelweiss.
No, what the heck was the name of that song? Dominic, the nuns there, not the flying nuns, the nuns.
Dominic,
yeah. Anyway, what are you going to do for us tonight?
It's French. We're going to do a song that...
I got that, Ron. Go ahead.
We're going to do a song that Ron did the arrangement of, originally sung. It's called Sorrento, Ritorno Sorrento.
Now you did that on the Hill?
Yes, I've done that many times.
On Federal Hill?
On Federal Hill, and Waterfire, and Twin Rivers.
Right.
We're back there in March.
Yes, so exactly, yeah.
They kind of like us up there.
Yeah, you're there a couple times this coming year, aren't you?
Yeah, half a dozen or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, give us a song.
When we kiss, my heart's on fire.
burning with a strange desire. And I know each time I kiss you that your heart's on fire too. So my darling, please surrender all your love so warm and tender. Let me hold you in my arms, dear, till the moon shines bright above. All the stars will tell a story of a love of pain and glory. Let me take this night of magic and make it a night of love. Vidi mare quanto è bella, spiritando sentimento, come te chiedere armente, che asce da dove suonare. Guardi, guardi stu giardino, senti se steso arancia, nu profumo che si fine, din tu corre se ne va, e tu dice parda die, non da stu cuore, dalla vela dell'amore, din tu corre notturna, ma non me la sa, non dorme, sto dormiendo, torna sorriendo, fammi
Wow, holy cow. My throat's hurting. After just hearing that, my God, can you hit it?
It's a little early in the evening for me to hit it.
Yeah, you hit the high notes.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. All
Just
right.
saying.
Hey, how we are? How you doing? Dominic, DiPasquale, and
Grazie.
Ron.
Murray.
I was waiting for him to look after I said Ron.
Yeah, I know you know his last name, but
He wasn't looking. All right. We'll be right back with you guys. Don't forget on the 10th, we got to get. I'll tell you what I hope for. By the way, when I have musical guests play on the Toys for Tots, the night of the Toys for Tots, it's like fillers because the event is about. You know that works. How that
Absolutely.
Works. We want to collect toys, but I will guarantee you, Dominic will play, at the very least, one song. 2 if we can. I honestly hope I don't have to have him play 2 songs, but it's probably going to happen. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That's because we're doing well with the Toys for Tots that night. That's how it works. But and in fact, Dominic's going to be there almost right away, so we'll get him in.
We will support you 100%.
You will, and you do, and you have been. You and Ron? All right, guys. Well, we're back with Dr. Stephen Skoly.
I want to hear more music. That was very impressive.
Isn't that good stuff, huh? Good stuff. Oh, he's excellent. He's excellent.
Yeah, you upgraded your music talent.
Hey, we changed it. Hey, I gotta fill in for. I gotta hit all aspects. There's some music I play here that I don't like, but I play it because other people like it. That's the nature of the business here. I'm here to appease the masses, not just me. If I had that, I'd have that kind of music all the time. I'd have him here all the time if that was the case. But you can't. You gotta mix it up, different types of stuff. Anyway, the affordable health care, is that what we're talking about now?
If
or do
that's
you
what
want
you
to
like
still
to
talk
talk about?
Now, we got a couple clips for you.
Sure.
It's all with the
Stop China Now.
Stop China Now. And it's very, very moving, I think. How about if we do another clip of Stop China Now,
okay.
and we come back, and then we'll get into the affordable health care so you can rock the boat. And
What you used to be able to do when you look out this building or look in this building coming across Vietnam Veterans Memorial Bridge is you would see jobs. The sky was lit with ingots being poured and hot, steel, molten steel, and those in charge, our politicians, our government, allowed those jobs to leave. They let those jobs leave because of, I don't know, lobbyists, again, lack of leadership, to go overseas. And it decimated and devastated this area, as you see in this empty building. This building has been empty for decades now. Decades. When the mayor's in the office, I don't know if he looks out the window. Again, he is the deafening silence of the mayor of this community is horrifying. I don't know why he doesn't respond. I don't know if the mayor's ever been down here. I don't know if the mayor has seen this. I don't know if the mayor has seen shacks along the river where people live, or seen the blankets under the bridge. But all you have to do is look up and you can see light coming through. It's got broken windows. Devastation of what were jobs. This 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This building was full of people working that had homes, that had their kids in school, that were living what was the American dream.
A job at its best is doing something that is beneficial or helpful to another person or your community or the environment. People have it in their head that a job is just a way that I'm going to get money so that I can then go do whatever. Wrong. That is wrong. A job is something that you do that realizes your potential, gives you dignity and integrity as a man or a woman, and gives you an opportunity to add value in some way to some other group or community.
hi folks, this is Bob Venturini of Bob's Big Adventure in an Hour with Bob fame. I'm getting ready for the Toys for Tots, Tuesday, December 10th at the Warwick Mall, 5 to 9 p.m. Join me, the Marines, and a host of celebrities at the Warwick Mall, Tuesday, December 10th, 5 to 9 p.m. for the 20th annual Victor J. Venturini Memorial Toys for Tots Telethon. Bring a new unwrapped toy and come on down and join the fun. Tuesday, December 10th, 5 to 9 p.m., Warwick Mall. Hey, we're back on an Hour with Bob. We're back with Dr. Stephen Skoly. We're talking about Stop China Now. Now you're a reconstructive surgeon. What are you doing with this stuff here? What are you doing?
I'm interested in good public policy.
You are. You're a very involved person. You are. I've noticed that since the day I met you. You're very much on the pulse of the community. Do you ever think about running for office?
I thought you couldn't talk politics on this show.
Who said that?
Yeah,
I said
someday.
I don't usually talk politics on my show.
Maybe
you know what I was
someday.
thinking about doing? Because I ran for lieutenant governor a few years ago, and I spent less than $5,000, as you know, spent less than $5,000 to run statewide, and I got over 20,000 votes running. Just to give you an idea, Ken Block ran for governor when I ran for lieutenant governor the same year. He got 21,000 votes, and he spent $500,000. Isn't that odd that I drew that much just because of, I don't know, name recognition maybe, or maybe people like what I have to say. Some people do anyway. If I got 20,000 votes and spending less than $5,000.
Yeah, it's good to stay involved. It's good to.
I thought about running again for lieutenant governor because it's got to be a packed field. There's a lot of people running for it, and they're running for it for different reasons. They're running for it because they want to use it as a stepping stone. That's their way to the governorship or a senator's position. you know, some of these people that have taken out papers to run for it, they're not running for it because they want to make things happen, fix things in Rhode Island. And that's why some of those people would never want me up there, because I would make things happen. I would make things happen because I don't have any somebody pushing me one way or forcing me another way or paying me off to do this.
No personal agenda.
No, I don't have an agenda. Well, I do, I guess. My agenda is to do things right in the state. When I worked in the mayor's office in Pawtucket, I have the distinction of having gone to a federal grand jury without an attorney, and I didn't have any handcuffs on me. I mean, I was doing the right thing while some other people were doing the wrong thing in Pawtucket. You know, we did a lot of good things in Pawtucket when I was working in the mayor's office. I was a special assistant to the mayor at the time of the Sorrell administration. And by the way, he did a very good job. He just did a stupid thing, you know, at the same time. You know, he got caught for something very minor, I guess, or in some people's eyes not that minor. And he went to jail and he did his time. But we did a lot of good things in Pawtucket back in the day. So I know I would do well if you know, people say, oh, the lieutenant governor shouldn't even have that office. They shouldn't. But guess what? We do have it. So because we have it, you might as well use it and make it work something. Do you know all departments of the state of Rhode Island, of all departments in the state of Rhode Island, the highest wage per department is in the lieutenant governor's office? Do you know that? Per person,
really?
Per person, they make more money broken down, you know, collectively, all the money in that department divided by the number of employees. Their wages are higher in that office than in any other department in the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
And
familiar
that's a fact.
with
That's
you know,
a
the
fact.
inside of
Do you know this?
departments
And
in
we'll get to
Rhode
your, we'll get to your thing. The lieutenant governor, the governor makes what, $130,000 a year, the governor of the state of Rhode Island, right? The lieutenant governor makes $112,000, something like that. You know what the lieutenant governor's chief of staff makes? $165,000. Is there something wrong with that picture?
That's
the chief of staff
times.
of the lieutenant governor of a department that everybody says shouldn't even exist makes $165,000.
No, some people say it shouldn't exist.
Some
not
people.
everyone.
No, you're right.
I mean, some people have a very good.
No, you're absolutely right.
You know,
I stand corrected because I don't. I think it should be there because it's a vital part. It could be a vital part of.
it should be a vital part.
And it could be. It depends on who's there, who's running the thing. You know, if their agenda is not to be the governor or to be a senator or a U.S. rep, then they can do the right thing. But when they're there just to grab a big paycheck, and that's what they do over there, there's a lot of money passing hands in that department.
Well, this scenario that you described had to do with statewide, you know, step levels and things like that. And again, I'm not familiar with that. I certainly believe everything you say. So.
Yeah, of all departments. So it's a fact. It was on GoProv. I think I saw it, or it was a Providence Journal actually that listed it, that they have the highest pay of any department. The pay per person is higher than in any department in the state of Rhode Island, which is odd. All right, let's talk about affordable health care.
That's a
You're
little
smiling
subject.
now. What's the big smile? All of a sudden you got happy, Doc. What happened?
Not happy. I mean, certainly the media has given me a lot of material the last few weeks.
Well, you were against Obamacare, right? Adamantly.
Well, yeah, and I don't even want to call it Obamacare.
What is it?
I mean, Obama's not rendering any care. You know, the Health Care Act, when it's, you know, it's new act, they didn't hire any healthcare providers. You know, that act, and you and I have talked about it before. The people that they hired the most were IRS agents.
Right.
I don't know, they hired another 16,000 IRS agents, or you know, some crazy number. The Healthcare Affordability Act, you know, which was enacted in 2010, and now it's coming to fruition. The more I read it, I brought part of it today.
Yeah.
I brought a few hundred pages.
A few hundred pages.
I've read it
when
a few times.
When I saw that, you coming in with that, I said, well, what do you expect to do with that? We're not reading that thing tonight.
No, we're not reading it tonight. But I mean, that's only
and that's my point is, that's just a small pittance of it, right?
It's 2,300 pages. I mean, it's dynamic.
How many pages you got there?
There's a few hundred pages here.
Oh, 2,300 would be up here somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's a big document. And it references a whole other set of rules and regulations, which now is, you know, 10,000 pages. The more I look into this, the more I realize I don't understand. And I'm going to wager to bet that I've read more of this bill than most of the members of our congressional.
Yeah, I'll bet you're right there. I'll bet you're right there.
Because you couldn't have read this
And voted for it.
There's just so many discrepancies. There's so many areas that are just, you know, subject to interpretation. I mean, if I was the Supreme Court right now, I would reconvene. If I was John Roberts, I would reconvene and say, you know what, by their own volition, you know, the administration and the executive branch and Congress, they misrepresented themselves when they were giving us this information. We were going to make a determination on the constitutionality of the health care bill. They misrepresented it. At best, they were disingenuous.
Right. But do you think they were disingenuous, or they just didn't even look at it, didn't know? Do you think that, or maybe some of them
either
were?
one is a flagrant foul.
Right,
How do you? This represents almost 20% of America's GDP. You're going to socially engineer all of healthcare, and you don't look at the facts and figures. They knew, somebody knew, Department of Health and Human Services, that when this bill finally came to fruition, you know, 10, 11, 12 million people were going to lose their health care.
Right.
When you said that bureaucrats would not get between you and your doctor, I mean, doctors are, United Healthcare's, you know, terminated many contracts with physicians.
Right.
I mean, the thing is so complicated, and it's unfortunate. There are some parts of the bill, some parts, which I'm sure are good. There are so many things that are not good that you really have to revisit it. So if I was the Supreme Court, again, I'd reconvene and say, you gave us misinformation. You were disingenuous. I'm going to repeal my decision. Go back, start again.
Right.
But that's complicated too.
Right.
Because now you've had the insurance companies who have their own issues, and we can talk
and
about
they just
that.
let go of
you don't have enough time
a few million people.
You know, but now the insurance company, under the direction of, you know, a bill, they've spent their energy, their actuaries, you know, their underwriters, to make sure that their products were compliant with the bill.
Right. Which caused them to knock out millions of people, right?
Yeah, and you know that the bill is directed to how are we going to accommodate those 47, 50, 55 million people that are uninsured. Well, they're uninsured because they don't have money.
Right.
They don't know how to pay for their health care. When you did a health care reform in America, we've been thinking about this, you know, certainly Washington, the Beltway's been thinking about it since, you know, the mid-90s. When they rolled out the plan, they should have had a better plan. They should have had a better mechanism to do it.
Right. Especially why
they never beta tested anything. They never stress tested anything. But they didn't stress test the banks. So I mean, I guess most of the you know, technology that the government uses has been not successful.
Right.
You know, immigration reform. You know, ICE, they can't track who's in the country. You know, tobacco and firearms, they don't know how many people, you know, by their own volition, their technology can't keep up with who has guns, who's licensed, who shouldn't have a gun, who's mentally unstable. They can't keep track of that.
Right.
I mean, there's so many arenas that, you know, Congress, they should have really looked at this.
And they did. Well, I think it's going to cost. I think it's going to cost a lot of people their positions in Congress this next.
I mean, I look back.
Term.
You know, again, I don't know. I looked back at a speech that Senator Whitehouse gave.
All right.
When he was, you know, supporting and endorsing this, and I happen to be a healthcare provider who I had a lot of concerns with a lot of it, but I actually looked through some of his speech. I'm just going to read a couple, and certainly this is online. There's a full text of his healthcare speech.
This is our senator.
This is our senator, and I love to sit here and talk with him. And you know, he's done some other things that have been, you know, certainly appropriate, and he's presented to the Senate. You know, I think this week was his 50th presentation on, you know, global warming, and you started talking about at the beginning of your show, you know, the disaster in the Midwest yesterday, and you know, certainly a lot of the climate changes, you know, we have to look at, but the government can only do so much.
Right.
But he gave a speech. I'm going to read you some of the text.
Go ahead.
The malignant and vindictive passions that have descended on the Senate are busily creating such a political climate. Far from appealing to the better angels of our nature, too many colleagues
He's talking
his
about-
colleagues, he's talking about his
senators,
Republicans,
he's talking about
are
senators.
embarked on a desperate, no-holds-barred mission of propaganda, falsehood,
Whoa.
obstruction, and fear. The
Who's he talking about?
propaganda that basically was committed was by our salesman-in-chief. It was, by the president. This was his signature bill.
Right.
He screwed it up. And Congress went along with it. And now, when we did the first movie, some of my friends are in the Senate, and we had the Gang of Six, where you had 3 Republican senators and 3 Democratic senators, and they couldn't get along, and they couldn't really come to a consensus on anything.
Sure.
That's why you had some of the issues with the banking. That's why you had the debt ceiling. That's why you had those things. Now they're talking about the dozen senators who are now retracting. Who are now retracting and saying, maybe we should revisit this health care thing again. I'll continue. The appalling amount of misinformation being peddled by its opponents. Factual misstatements about the health care bill. A campaign of falsehood, death panels, cuts to Medicare benefits, benefits for illegal aliens, and catch this one, and bureaucrats to be parachuted in between you and your doctor. Well, that's happening.
Right.
Because, the insurance exchanges, there's 34 federal exchanges, and Rhode Island has a very appropriate, state exchange. We're one of the
one of the few that works, apparently.
We got a lot of money, though, to do this.
Right.
We've spent over $100 million, I think.
In Rhode Island?
In Rhode Island on the health insurance exchange. And it's going to cost us $20 to $30 million a year to keep that exchange enrolled. And of the 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 people who have currently enrolled now, 3/4 of them are enrolling in the Medicaid program, and we already had a mechanism for that.
That was already happening.
We had a Good Neighbor Alliance, and there's a whole bevy of insurance agents in the state, who could have. It seems like we spent so much money.
For nothing.
Just so much money.
And by the way, it troubles me a lot, and we got to go back, because I'm going to go to another song to lighten you up a little bit. But before we go back to the song, I got to understand something. How much money did we spend for this website that doesn't work? And now we're paying the same people that sold us this website that doesn't work, although they threw other people in it too, but we're paying those same people to fix it. Normally, in private industry, if somebody puts something together and they mess it up, you fix it. You don't get paid to fix it. You fix it.
That's not how government always works.
That's why the government's so screwed up.
And I'm not a right-wing lunatic fanatic, as some would say.
Right.
Because there were components of the health care bill that I had questions about. I think I'm, fiscally conservative, and you can't pay for what you don't have.
Exactly.
And, certainly, healthcare in America, the technology and, big pharma, the progress we've made is second to none in the world.
Right.
The issue is how we pay for it. That's the dilemma.
That's the problem. All right, I'm going to get some ice cream, but I want Dominic to sing a song. And Doc, you want some ice cream?
That sounds good.
All right,
sure.
We'll be right back. Okay. Dominic, give us a song, will you?
We're going to do a song now that we're going to bring you a little ahead for the season. We're going to do a song that we're going to do December 10th from 5 to 9. We're not going to sing 5 to 9, but we're going to do at least one song called Oh Holy Night for the Toys for Tots.
I love this. You did this before. Go ahead.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and ever pining, till he appears and his soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the merry world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees and hear the angels' voices. when Christ was born. All night, divine, all night, divine.
Whoa, Dominic, DiPasquale. Look at this. Is this cool or what? Huh? Huh? The ice cream barn. I met these two folks when they started doing ice cream, right?
Years ago.
Years ago.
2008, yeah.
2008.
Yep.
You were working at the festivals. You were working at Waterfires.
Yep.
And I found out that you were making your own ice cream, going in a place after they closed. Did you have permission to just break in? No, you went into a place with Maximilian's, which isn't there anymore. You went, right? Wasn't it Maximilian's?
Yeah, they changed to Three Sisters. They're still around.
The building's still there and everything. And you went in there and you decided to, now you graduated from college in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
And you were in
Ohio.
Ohio. Oh, I'm sorry. Tom, it's cider?
Cider.
Apple cider, cedar, cider, cedar.
Holiday drink.
Jocelyn. And now you got hitched too, didn't you?
Yeah, we're hitched.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've known each other for a long time though, right?
High school.
High school? Were you sweethearts in high school?
Yeah, since senior year. It's been a long
time. And you went away, you went separate directions.
Went separate directions.
And you ended up back together.
We stuck it out.
Now wait a minute, what was your major in college?
I did environmental studies, so.
Environmental studies.
That's how I ended up in ice cream.
History.
History.
Of
that
course.
makes sense.
Yeah, right.
History and environmental studies.
Yeah.
Now, is this environmentally safe? Now, what kind is this here?
4-berry vanilla yogurt.
4-berry vanilla. No, that's yogurt too, right?
Yes, that's yogurt.
Now,
95% fat-free.
And all your stuff, you make all the ingredients yourself, or you buy the stuff, the berries locally?
Yep.
Right?
As local as possible for as many different things as possible.
Now, how many kinds you got? You got 26. Do you have 26 ice creams?
We do, yeah.
Something like that.
I think you're right about.
Rotating.
Yeah, it's fluctuating.
You know how much I love ice cream.
Yes.
What kind don't I like?
Mint.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
She's got it. The only ice cream I don't like is mint. Doc, ready to try these. This is.
It's got blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries.
That's good stuff, Dominic. And I'm not going to double dip. What's this?
This is a lemon blueberry frozen yogurt.
Lemon blueberry. Can you see that? Get a shot of that. Now your place is over near the Swansea Mall, right?
Swansea Mall, yep.
If you're going by the Swansea Mall, you don't go into the Swansea Mall parking lot. You go straight. And
yep, you go right by the mall. Actually, if you go all the way to the end of that road, you take a right. It tees into Locust Street, so you have to take a right or a left. If you take a right, we're about half a mile down.
And it looks like this. This is your building, right?
That's it.
Now imagine, folks, these two youngsters started working nights making ice cream, and now they have their own building. It's a beautiful barn.
Slightly larger than that.
It's a little bigger than that, right? And you got a nice setting. You got the cows right across the street, right? The pastures right across the street. It's pretty nice, and you make a great ice cream. This is again lemon.
Lemon blueberry.
I'm in my glory here.
Moving on, cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Kind of a nice fall flavor.
And by the way, because you don't use any artificial colorings or something.
That's just cinnamon, yeah.
Just cinnamon.
Just cinnamon. Now, cinnamon, when you see that, we see that, it looks red, right? Your cinnamon. I love cinnamon. You like cinnamon?
Man, you got to try this.
I'm not gonna double dip.
It's good for the circulatory system.
This one, one of our customers,
Wow.
Never would have thought to make cinnamon ice cream. One of our customers asked us to do it, and it's a hit.
There you go. That's a clean one.
It's wicked good.
Clean one. Grab some. Grab a chunk of that. Wow, that got.
Hit ya.
That's got it.
Solid.
Now wait a minute. I know I got. Don't tell me where it is. I know it's coming up. You did something when you told me you were going to do this. I thought you're out of your mind. You know what I'm talking about? Right?
Yeah.
Get over here.
3 days old. 3 days old.
We did it.
This is a brand new flavor of ours, maple bacon.
Maple bacon ice cream. Ron, maple bacon ice cream. What is this?
We put this one out on Saturday.
Coffee milk.
Local flavor.
Coffee milk. Now, where do you get coffee
Autocrat,
shop?
of course.
Autocrat
Of
coffee.
course. Lincoln, Rhode Island.
I know the owner of Autocrat coffee. I told that. That's good.
Sweeter.
But we gotta use different spoons, so we gotta try this. What do we got here?
Signature. Cranberry juice.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
What do you mean signature? This is your favorite?
It's my favorite.
It is?
Absolute all-time favorite.
Really?
Love it.
Cranberry
love it.
Jubilee. Now, where do you get the Jubilee from? I was on a ship called the Jubilee once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Where'd
Carnival
you
cruise
sail?
ship. Yeah, Carnival cruise ship. It was Jubilee. Now, why is it your signature?
We get local cranberries from our organic cranberry farm in Carver, Mass. Boil them down on the stove, separate the juice from the berries, add the juice right into the base so it has a light cranberry base to it. Add back in the cranberry pieces, chocolate chunks, and shaved almonds.
Well, I'll be up to see you again.
All right.
All right? Well, check it out. The ice cream barn, right?
Check it out.
All right. I think we got one more clip. We got to show one more clip. We got it? All right. We'll be right back with the doc on An Hour with Bob, folks.
We've been very frustrated about our trip to Washington. We had U.S. senators and congressmen set up to meet with. We actually had very good meetings with people who were, you could call them lobbyists or special interest groups and so forth. We had no problem with talking with Steve Forbes on the phone, who runs a large corporation and talks to people on the radio. In a 3-hour period last week, we had everybody cancel. We had people say, we can never meet with you, after we had appointments. Any idea why that might be?
Well,
I mean, this is the same questions are being asked. We tell people what they are. We're not.
Well, for the same reason, when I ask my son if he took cookies out of the cookie jar, he won't look at me. He knows he's guilty. If you did something that was right, then there's no reason to be anything other than transparent. I think that this just goes to show you how much politics has really been reduced to just imagery, sort of magician tricks in the camera, and it's come to the point where it's not even in the interest of somebody who votes for a bill to tell you exactly what's in it, because so much of it now just depends on backroom deals, and that's just proof that nobody's looking at much of anything anymore in Washington in terms of what is in the self-interest of the United States. You should be absolutely confident. If you came home to your family and you made a decision that you firmly believed was in the interest of your family, Steve, I know you would be the first to tell them why, because you'd be proud of the decision, you'd be confident in it. But if all of a sudden you're going and you're hiding in your basement, I think anyone in your household would figure out that the decision either was not in the interest of the greater good, or you've done something that you're ashamed of. I think it's not that difficult. I think there's so much special interest. And that lack of transparency is just proof that you can't have an honest and open discussion about the issues. It's not in the interest of those who are hiding.
I don't think the media educates America today on a lot of issues. I don't think it's true journalism anymore. It's more entertainment. And then you have the faction, you have the political issues that have resulted in the stalemate or the paralysis in Washington. It's the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. The political elites from both parties really are at an impasse, and they're in the process of ruining America financially. This documentary hopefully will show that, in addition to the political elites, the titans of Americans' industry, big business, also has a stake at the table. They're making more money than ever, and as a result, they're doing well, but maybe the average American isn't. And we're all part of that, and it's complex, because as Exxon and GE do well, my 401k, my pension plan, CalPERS pension plan, they do well. That's one side of it. And as these foreign-based companies sell a cheaper product in America, whether it's Walmart or whoever, America has the opportunity to have more goods. But the long-term effect of that is we've lost our manufacturing base. Our unemployment rates stay high. It takes us longer to get out of recession. We're not going to be able to fund the entitlement programs that we have because of our unbalanced budgets. We need to fix America. Part of fixing America is solving our unemployment problem, bringing our manufacturing base back to America, and becoming again the superpower that we want to be.
So the Affordable Health Care Act is a dud, huh?
It's a challenge. I mean, for me,
first of all, it's too big. I think that was the biggest problem. It's way too big for anybody to comprehend. Any one person to comprehend. They give their staffers pieces of it to read.
A lot of people are certainly involved. I look at it. For me, it's almost a mechanism to try to redistribute wealth in America. I looked at it as a big tax bill, and you have young, successful entrepreneurs. The success, in many ways, of this bill is depending on again
they get in it.
They get in it.
They've got to buy into it. They got to buy into it
because you're cheap to insure.
Right, because you're low risk.
Unless you keep up with the bacon, whatever.
The bacon will help out.
You're cheap to insure, and you have to participate so that you can subsidize those that aren't cheap to insure. And so far, the track record is, over the first month or so, is young people aren't chomping at the bit to
they're not signing up.
Well, and as you'd expect, the ones that are joining up are the ones that have been underinsured or uninsured for many, many years.
Right.
And those that are successfully navigating, the sites.
And most of them are the state sites that are navigating.
They're successful.
The federal sites are not working. The federal site isn't working.
And those that sign up, and it's one thing to actually procure the product. Yeah, somebody has to pay for it. Many people who sign up will get subsidized by the government. So, once again, the government is playing a very prominent role in everything we do. When you go register on the site, it's not like going to, Travelocity or Orbitz where you shop first for your product, and then when you finally find a product that you like, you put in your data. No, everything is streamlined. You've got to put in your data first. So the government wants to know everything about you.
Hi folks, this is Bob Venturini of Bob's Big Adventure and an Hour with Bob fame. I'm getting ready for the Toys for Tots, Tuesday, December 10th at the Warwick Mall, 5 to 9 p.m. Join me, the Marines, and a host of celebrities at the Warwick Mall, Tuesday, December 10th, 5 to 9 p.m. for the 20th annual Victor J. Venturini Memorial Toys for Tots Telethon. Bring a new unwrapped toy and come on down and join the fun. Tuesday, December 10th, 5 to 9 p.m., Warwick Mall. Well, I got to thank you for stopping by.
Always a pleasure.
Fixing America.
Stop China Now.
Stop China Now. Now, when is that coming out where everybody can see that?
Yeah, we're working on,
distribution?
Getting some traction and distribution, as we speak. We literally just finished it. You've seen it.
Yes.
Very
I think it's
fresh.
awesome. I really do. I think it's awesome.
Very fresh.
We got to get it at, even if we get it locally at some of these cinemas, would that be beneficial?
Yeah, we're going to
get it at like the Avon Cinema.
We're going to work on the whole product.
Yeah. Get it at the Park City. Get it at Park City or Park Cinema?
Park Cinema. They were very helpful last time.
They should show this if for no other reason because it's
very informative.
It's informative. It's a
very informative.
People should see to understand because it's not like you said. It's not a right-wing conspiracy thing. This is. I consider myself a moderate, and I think it's on the money.
This is an American movie. It's about our republic. It's not about politics.
Right.
At all.
It's not good. I mean, you're not a political crazy. I mean, you're a businessman. You're a doctor, and you're seeing something that isn't right, and you're trying to deal with it.
Hopefully, a very practical approach to good public policy.
All right, folks. I guess we're just about done here tonight. I want to thank my guest, Dominic DiPasquale, and Ron Murray. He's over there. He's chowing down over there, and Jocelyn and Tom.
Listen, all I'm going to tell you is this is better than gelato.
Oh, wow.